Come on, hit it, yeah. The champ is on the mic. Struggle's ongoing, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward, no matter what I face. I rise, His Spirit leads me on. All the way, Lord, I pray, help me say, every day that I wake, I will praise You. Every breath that I take, Lord, I will praise You. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Struggles are going, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward, no matter what I face. I rise, His Spirit leads me on. All the way, Lord, I pray, help me say, every day I'm alive, I will praise You. Every way while I can, I will praise You. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you with me? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. I owe my life to You. I rest upon Your word.
That's right.
Your joy alone, my strength. I'm right on track. In You I have my peace, the rock that never fails. I pour my love on You. I know You're in control. I'm singing and dancing and praising, moving, 'cause my Lord is good. I'm rejoicing, progressing. I'm shouting, God is good. Hey, I'm standing under the rock. Hey, I know my God's in control. I hail, 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 I hail. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. This is my daily motion. It's guidance keeps me higher. This is my daily motion. It's guidance keeps me forward. This is my daily motion. It's guidance keeps me higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I am going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher.
Standing in the street, can you hear me? Wake up from your sleep, come stand with me. Whoa, we're changing the world. Can you hear our voices breaking through? There's a fire in our hearts seeking truth. Oh, we're changing the world.
Hello, Daily Motion family. Hello, hello, hi, hello, how are you? Hello, hi. Good evening, Daily Motion family. This is Olayemi Champion Odushola, and it is a privilege and an honor to come to you today. My glasses are actually a little bit dirty, so at some point tonight, I am going to take it off and clean it. Good evening. I'm Olayemi Champion Odushola, and this is the Daily Motion Haven of Love, and it is still Women's History Month. And thank you so much for joining us. It is a Daily Motion Haven of Love. It is where we come together to talk about real issues without the facade, and without any judgment. Absolutely no judgment at all. This is a place where your opinions are welcome. And you know what? You can keep them. We're not going to take them away from you. Thank you so much for joining us on this cold but bright, cold March spring day, because we're already in spring, right? Because March has already exited the winter months. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to say a quick shout out. My joy girl, you're here. Hi, Ayo. Hey, Onyechi, you're here and you made it live. Yo, is it God? Oh, that will he do. God answers prayers. You prayed that you were going to be able to join this live, and you were able to join this live. See, God answers prayers. Yes, we sprang, but we have not really sprang because it was very cold tonight. I mean, this morning when I went out, and it was snowing, and it wasn't even snow that was not, it was not easy snow. It was blowing snow. Thank you so much for being here. It is still Women's History Month. I've been having so much fun with our cast from 2 weeks ago. We had hosts in the house. Bev and Okiki were here hosting with us, and I was just a producer. I enjoyed my producer job. Actually, I'm looking for hosts for this program, by the way. More hosts. If you are interested, please apply within. Please apply within and without, because the producer job is a very sweet job. I'm telling you. So please apply within. I want to be a full-time producer. But we've been having so much fun with all the topics that we dealt with last week. We had conversations about Spanx. That was the last conversation that we threw out to the people. Some people said their husband don't like Spanx. I said, if we don't wear Spanx, it will be, some things will be deadly. Some people will be going around slapping people. But some people's husband, they say that the Spanx leaves very little to the imagination. They say it is a barrier from the imagination. Well, maybe we'll be able to talk a little bit about that today, but we have so much to talk about. And I want you to get your girls, I was asking our host last week that did they share anything with their daughters about Women's History Month or International Women's Day. I want you to get the girls in the cast for the first 20 minutes of this conversation, because I do want them to understand that they have power, that they're girls and that there's power. So the first part of our conversation has to do with them, and I want them to take advantage of it. After the first 20 minutes, we can excuse them, but I do want them to have that. You're a church girl. my joy girl said she's a church girl. Yes, my love. It is nice that you are on the live. Hi, Marmirongi. You're very welcome. Please come in. Come on in. Sit down. Grab your water. Grab your wine. Grab your Smirnoff Ice if you don't drink wine. Anything you drink to have a chill conversation, please come on in. It's 7:09. Last week, if you were privileged to be here, I had said that I was going to have this guest that was greater than Oprah. And I do have the guest that is greater than Oprah. My scheduled greater than Oprah guest, I changed. She will come in sometime in April. However, my scheduled greater than Oprah guest that is here today is the female reproductive system, greater than Oprah. I want you to meet her in her full glory. And so, to be able to explain that greater than Oprah system, the greatest organ system that God created, the greatest organ and hormonal system that God designed, I needed a greater than Oprah guest to come and explain it, because me, I don't fully understand it. So I needed a greater than Oprah guest to come and explain it to us. And this is how I know God loves me. That is how God just gave me not only a brilliant greater than Oprah guest, a brilliant greater than Oprah doctor, a brilliant greater than Oprah businesswoman, in fact, let me not talk too much. Where are your emojis? Please send it, because today, if you don't send it, in fact, is this my face that you'll be looking at this evening? I will just be emojis, clapping and shouting, everything. Be doing it. Please, can you kindly share the post, because this becomes very important. I don't ask. I usually don't ask for you to share the post, but I would love for you to kindly share the post. This is very important to me. We're talking about women's health, and we're going to talk about things that we usually don't. Well, this is Daily Motion, so things that we usually don't talk about. That one is kind of like a tautology. We're going to talk about things that we usually don't talk about, but we're going to talk about very important things and things that are usually kind of on the fence, between the black and white, in the grays. So kindly share, get your friends, your enemies, your sisters, get your brothers on the line, get your kids, to listen. Very important for our girl children to also get in on this female conversations as well. Emojis, I can see your emojis, so please join me as we welcome into the Daily Motion studios for the very first time my greater than Oprah sister. She's my little sister, but she's much smarter than me. I will explain. Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE is in his house. Dear fam, please help me clap for her. Another round of applause. It gives me great pleasure to have you in the house, Dr. TAIWO. I first have to say that though she's my little sister, she's greater than me. I say that I usually want to give a very short introduction because they have warned me that I talk too much. Don't mind them more. I don't talk to you. Know me, right? You know that I'm a very gentle girl, right? Look at you betraying me right away. Okay, I won't let you betray me fully. DM fam, it gives me great pleasure to have Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE in the house tonight. She is, first of all, a fellow worshipper. That is what draws me to draw me close to her. Never let her go. And she does not have Eba in her voice like me. You know me. She has more salad in her voice than Eba. So her voice is even sweeter than mine. She's a fellow worshipper, and not only is she a fellow worshipper, of course she's a fellow doctor. And you know that me, I add a herbalist to bind. She's not a herbalist. She's a pure doctor. And another thing that I respect so much about Dr. TAIWO is that, in med school, right, they don't teach us money. They don't teach us business. They just teach us book. But there is a saying where I come from where they say that when they born you, you reborn yourself. Not born again the English way. You reborn yourself. She reborn herself. Even though they did not teach her money, she taught herself. Anyway, so usually, in medicine, you really just go to school to learn about treating patients, and you learn how to study. But I'm very proud to introduce her. She'll tell you herself what she does. But you are meeting a doctor, you are meeting the president, the founder,
Wow.
the CEO. I don't know. I'll go out on a limb and say that she may be the CFO of a.
Yes.
Yeah, look at this of her own medical group. So can you please, do you still have access to your emoji? Be sending it. It's not finished. So, and I am very proud to call her my sister, and I'm so glad that she honored our invitation to just round up this Women's History Month with us. I am so proud. It is so great, Dr. Efeyemi is saying, to see our little sisters that are greater than us. It gives me great pleasure to have you here tonight, my love. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Champion, for thinking of me when you were looking for a guest, for offering me this opportunity, for your love, your support, your warmness towards me. I really, truly appreciate it. And I'm humbled. I'm humbled that you would think of me as someone to respect. I mean, you've been in the game for a long time. Um, you're certainly, definitely someone I respect as a worshiper, as a leader, as a physician. And so to be here is a great honor for me. So thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, darling. We're gonna have a great conversation tonight, Daily Motion fam. Please share this post. This is something people want to hear. I'm gonna go into the chats just to say quick hello because there's serious business to talk about. Hi Ayo, I think I said hello. Hi PI, how are you? Yes, yes. Hi, hi, Mommy Stella. How are you?
Thank
It's nice to
you.
have you here. All right. We're going to start the conversation very, very quickly because I want us to cover a lot of ground. But before we do that, I want Doctor to introduce, and please don't skimp on your introduction. Introduce yourself very fully to the Daily Motion fam. Dr. Durowade, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the love in the chats. I'm Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE, as Dr. Yemi Champion has introduced. I am an OBGYN by training, so obstetrician gynecologist. I take care of women in general through all the stages of their lives. I went to Illinois State University for college, so I was in Bloomington Normal, Illinois State University, which was a great choice for me. A small school, I was able to get access to all the resources I needed. So when it was time to apply to medical school, the process was very easy. And then I went to University of Illinois College of Medicine. I was in the Rockford campus, so also a small place where I was able to get resources, access, things like that. So, and then I went to Michigan, St. Joseph Mercy Hospital in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, to train in OBGYN for 4 years. Certainly um, an experience. That's what we can call it, an experience. Everybody that has gone through residency will tell you the same thing. But it shaped me, it helped me to see the world for what the world is. I think I was a bit sheltered. Um, and so it was good me and God even got closer during that period because it had to change me, it had to shape me. So it was an experience that I don't take for granted at all. And then after training, I certainly knew that I wanted to move back home. I wanted to be near my parents who live in the south suburbs of Chicago. Um, and so I moved back home. I found a nice practice to join. I joined the practice and I worked there for about 2 years. I was doing deliveries and stuff. And then after a while, I was like, well, this is not as satisfying as I imagined. I imagined a really, grand, life after training and everything. And so I guess I was going through a process where God was telling me that what you're looking for, you have to create. And I was like, I'm not an entrepreneur. The reason I went into medicine is because I don't want to do business. I don't want to be in charge of anybody's payroll. I just want to get my own paycheck and be secure. And so me and God argued for about a couple years. I would be listening to Pastor Sam Adeyemi when I was going through residency, and it was I would look up messages about thoughts and character, how to manage your emotions, because like I said, I was changing a lot during residency. And he would be talking about entrepreneurship and financial freedom, and I'll be imagining that, oh, he's not talking to me, he's talking to somebody else. Let me just grab the ones that are for me. But after doing like locum, so I would work for different hospitals here and there for 2 years, I was like, okay, well, this also is not satisfying. And then I finally listened to God and said, okay, let me create the kind of practice I want. So I looked up how to form a business plan. I got this SCORE. SCORE is like a group of people that teach you how to create a business plan. And so, like mentors. So I got a mentor that showed me how to create a business plan. And then when it became time to create to go to the bank, we had to create like real financial things. I was able to hire somebody to help me with that. And then I went to the bank and I talked to somebody else who also started a business, and they put me in contact with a bank that supports healthcare startups. And so that's how I was able to get funding to start. Somebody was closing down their practice, and I hadn't even actually decided to. Oh yes, I'll answer that. Thank you. I hadn't decided that I was even going to start a practice then, but somebody was closing down their practice. So I said, let me go and buy all these things in faith. Then we go and buy all the equipment, their beds, their. And so I went to buy it and I stored it in our storage at church. Um, and so by the time it was time to actually look for a place, when I got the funding, I had everything, all the beds, all the equipment I needed to just move in. So I was looking to answer Dr. Tadi's question. I was looking for an environment where I had a voice. I could practice the way I wanted. Like in my old practice, let's say I wanted an additional ultrasound, and they would tell me, you can't have that. I want to start doing this treatment. They would say, well, we have to run it through administration. I was like, well, you can't do anything here. You can't explore. You can't give more options. You can just only do what you are given. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ifeyemi. You can only kind of work with what you're given. So I was looking just for more flexibility, more room. And God was like, well, anywhere you go, you're going to have to work for somebody. So if you don't want to work for somebody, you got to create one yourself. So now, as of January 2022, I created Dado Medical Group. For now, we are Dado Gynecology. Oh, thank you. It's right there on the screen. And I'm choosing to do gynecology because it's just me for now. And I didn't want to be overwhelmed with doing obstetrics, where, I'll be doing prenatal care and delivering babies, because you get called at all hours of the night, or you could be in the office and you get called to the hospital. So I didn't want that when I was starting out. So I just focused on gynecology and gynecology surgery. So I've been doing that for a year now. It's actually hard to imagine that I've been an entrepreneur for a year. About 6 months in, I recognized that, okay, I need a little bit more help. What else can I do to grow the practice? So I joined a business school. I'm always looking for coaching, mentorship coaching. Anybody that knows about it that can teach me, I will reach out to them. And so I joined this business school, and there was a wealth of knowledge about how to do marketing. And so I had to learn a whole new skill set about marketing, about finances, and to the glory of God, it has really, really grown my practice. So I joined in July of 2022, and from July of 2022 till now, I mean, God has been showing himself faithful. Bills are paid, employees are paid. If you ask me how, I honestly can't tell you. I just know that I'm just doing. And I've learned that nothing is a coincidence. Anything I do seems to be the right thing to do. And so I've learned to appreciate that I am led by the Spirit of God, and to not second guess myself, to not, even if it looks fuzzy, just go, because God will even make all things, even your mistakes, work out for your good. So it's been an experience. God has been using it to teach me how to solely depend on him for everything. And it's been so amazing. I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited about what I'm doing. I'm always happy to talk about it. Every time somebody invites me to talk about gynecology and women's health, I get so excited. And I don't know why, but I realize that it's my passion. It's what I love to do. It's what I love to share. Even if they're not paying me, I want to tell people. I just want to tell them. And so I'm really honored to be here today. So that's my story in a nutshell.
All right, thank you so much for that. All right, DM fam. So if you have not shared this post yet, you have two options. It's either you leave our page or you share the post, because you have had that testimony now, and you see that she has said that she went out in faith to do what she did. And I know that since last week, some of our little clips that we've been sharing is talking about us supporting one another. And, we had different views. Women, do we support each other? And men, because men come onto our cast too. And we do support one another. But this is one way that we can support one another. Please, we are begging you with 2 legs. If you want me to kneel down, I can kneel down. Please share this post, because I really wanted her to just talk about that testimony. A lot of us have a lot of dreams and hopes and aspirations, and and sometimes it is the fear that just cripples us. So when we find someone that takes that step, it not only does it inspire us, it is also an inspiration to her, because there are nights that she probably wakes up and say, I hope I wasn't drinking when I took that step. Please, let us make sure that she knows she was not drinking. Please. Thank you so much. And thanks for sharing that with us, saying, and even that spin on it, to say that somehow every step that you take seems to be the right step. So that's how you know that decision was led by God. I'm just asking somebody today, what is that thing that God has been laying on your heart to do? Why don't you go ahead and do it? Go ahead and do it. He will provide. I'm telling you, he will provide. He will provide. Do it.
It's true.
Nike it. Just do it,
Just
baby.
do it.
It's going to be fine. We're going to have an awesome conversation tonight. But so that we can let our kids go, Doc, I want to ask you one thing. I was talking to one of my uncles, and prior to that, I wanted to talk about menarche. Menarche is when a young girl starts her period, right? And while I was growing up, nobody talked to me about menarche. It just kind of happens, In this present world, they maybe get an education about when, you're going to start, maybe 5th grade is the talk or whatever. But the thing is that they don't get it all at the same time. My thought is, I'm not sure if it creates some kind of anxiety for them. Like maybe if my friend got hers and I haven't gotten mine, or even like the stages of development for young girls. Maybe, we talk about the tenor stages of, puberty. Somebody has, breast bud development and somebody doesn't have any. I wonder, just knowing how we are as human beings, whether it causes some kind of apprehension. Is it the same for everyone? Does everybody get it at the same age, or could it be different? Can you kind of just talk about, how does it happen, in case there are any young girls in our homes that are wondering, when am I going to get mine? Can you kind of talk briefly about that?
Yes, absolutely. So, as I'm sure we all know, it does not happen at the same time for everyone. It's interesting. I'm thinking back to when I was younger. All my friends in secondary school at that time, we were maybe 13, we were in GSS2, and they were all wearing bras. And I was still wearing shimmy or singlet. So I'm thinking back, I didn't start getting anything until I was 14, So the normal age is around 11 to 16. If by 16 there are no breast buds, then we're concerned. If by 7 they're getting breast buds, then we're concerned. So that's precocious puberty, when they're going into all these puberty younger than they should. So most people start around age 9, especially in the United States, where there's a lot of cholesterol in our diet. So a lot of girls get exposed to estrogen early because cholesterol gets converted to estrogen. So because there's a lot of cholesterol, a lot of fat in our diet in the United States, a lot of girls will start around age 9. 7, no. 8, no. Those are concerning and should go see a physician or pediatrician. But 9 upwards is fine. 14 is okay. 16, we start getting concerned. Why is it getting that delayed? By 16, you should already, have gone through puberty. So if by 16 there are no breast buds or no signs of puberty, then we start getting concerned. So it's different for everybody. Don't feel self-conscious. Don't feel that you're delayed or anything. It's just everyone's genetics is different. Everyone's, I would say ask your mom even. When did your mom start noticing that she had breast buds? Or you probably follow that trajectory if she's comfortable talking about it, But yeah, 9 to 14, good. 15, 16, we start getting a little worried.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I think that's very good. Ask your mom. A lot of girls will pattern after their mom, and moms should feel comfortable talking about this kind of things. There's nobody else they can ask. So moms, please feel very comfortable about talking about it. And if you're on the cast and you do have a question for Dr. DUROWADE, please put them in the chats. We're here to answer questions. I want to go into the chats real briefly to put your roses in here for you because we don't want roses for you when you're no longer here. While you were sharing your testimony, I already said, Dr. Efeemi had said earlier on, so great to see our little sisters that are greater than us. I'm so proud of you, Dr. DUROWADE. More power, the Durham Medical Group. Standing ovation from here. Mommy Stella's here. She put hearts here for you. This one is long. Welcome, Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE. The DM family welcomes you. It's a great pleasure to have you with us. We love you and can't wait to learn a lot from you. God bless you. We appreciate your time and we love you. Dr. Taddy. Dr. Taddy! Hi! Motalani is here and she's shouting us out.
Nice.
And PI was saying that, when you had said that you had gone to school and you wanted to move back home, she was saying it is real. So, mommy and daddy, well done. No, we are sadakata to you. That means that you are very nice, mommy and daddy, for your children to want to come back home. Yes. Well done. Well done. Because most of all, we don't want to run. We want to run and not come back. And Dr. Taddy was actually just echoing that. Maybe you should put it in a book of poetry, what you said. What you are looking for, you have to create. She was echoing that when you had said that you were, when you were at your first place of employment and, they were not giving you the chance to do what you were doing. Very, very good. That was excellent. And my joy girl was saying creative ideas, just sounding you out over there.
Thank you.
Motalani is saying, so proud of you, Dr. TAIWO. You are amazing.
Thank you.
She was
Thank
saying
you,
that.
Tommy.
Hi, mommy Fumi. Hi, my mama. My mama is the work. Oh, this work they are using. I'm telling you, mommy, they are using me like rainwater. Rainwater. I will call you and report them to you. Mom says, my DM family members, I'm so happy. We're all ready to have our very own Obigani Dr. Dado with us tonight. And PI says, God makes even our mistakes work out for our good. Wow. When we say all things work out for good, we hardly include our mistakes. And thank you, my joy girl. Not only share the post. If you're looking for an excellent and helpful gynecologist, she's the one. Let's
Thank you.
Yes, so let's patronize it. So you see and it's here, it's in the south suburbs, 19150 Kedzie Avenue, and you have all her social media handles over here. They are all there. Please follow follow her. Turn your back so that they can see what you look like from behind if they want to follow you. Let me remove my name. You already know who I am. You already know who I am. Please follow her if you want to know what she looks like from behind there. Okiki is shouting you out here. Hey, that's my doctor, she says. Hello, our host. Come back, so that I can be doing my producer job. Oh, we are going to talk about menopause. People that are talking about menarche. Please, you are everything we are going to talk about here tonight. Christiana is saying, so proud of you. Hi, Mom. Mommy Margaret is in the house. I'm proud of you, Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE. Congratulations, my dear, she says.
Thank you.
And they said, FYI, you is the best. You is the best. She got put her flowers in here, please. Please. Let's support our own. There's nowhere. Let's support our own. No. Tiwa. Let's support our own. No. You are invited. What are you talking about? Invite you. What type of invitation? Do you want me to print the invitation again? All right, let's keep going. Thank you so much. So you've heard it. So you can have that conversation with your children. I was talking to one of my uncles, and he was talking about when his first daughter got her period, his wife was home. But unfortunately, when the second daughter had her period, his wife wasn't home. So it was a little less preparation for that time. But we should have these conversations. We should have them prepared. There are the period packs. They sell them. Just Google Prime, Amazon period packs. They come in a pack. You can have it in their backpacks. Have one at home, have one in their backpacks. It's there. It's like 2 sanitary towels. It also has it has instructions. It has a little pack, a little baggie that they can put a soiled packet in, or a soiled underwear if it has it. Make sure you show it to them what it looks like and have it in their bag so that they're prepared. Tell them you're giving it to them. It may not happen for 1 year or 2 years. You just want them to be prepared because you don't want them to think it's going to happen tomorrow. So just to have them prepared, all right? So please have that conversation with our little ones so that everybody is prepared. Mommy Roki says, more grace in Jesus' name, Dr. Tusk. We are loving these. Congratulations. Please, we need referral in Jesus' name. We call forth those referrals in the mighty name of Jesus. Father Lord, Dador Medical Group, Dador Gynecology, we speak it forth in the mighty name of Jesus. Father Lord, that the name of that business will begin to ring forth in the ears of everyone that has good insurance. In the name of Jesus. Reba siketere lebo shata yala baba baba. Eba mi gbe ọ̀rọ̀ ìsókè sí etí Olúwa. So kumus reromus. Yes. It's on Amazon. Auntie Ari, hi. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, let's go on. We'll give you your flowers as they come, but let's talk about something else. A lot of times, people come in, to talk to doctors, and they're worried about their periods because they think it is not normal. There is an assumption about what the normal period is. And, sometimes people will come into our office as PCPs and they'll say, Doc, my period is not normal. It's not normal. It doesn't come at this time or that time. Can you kind of talk to us about what the normal period should be? Or they will say, it does not come on the second Monday of the week like it came last month. So can you kind of share that with us? What should we expect for the normal cycle? Go ahead, Doc.
Absolutely. That's a great question. So normal cycle is 25 days to 35 days from the first day of the last cycle to the first day of the next cycle. So people kind of use period and cycle interchangeably. So let's clarify. Period is the flow, and that can last between 5 to 7 days. Any period lasting longer than 7 days we consider abnormal. And if the period is 25 days, so the first day of bleeding to the next day of bleeding, to the next first day of bleeding. I hope I'm making sense. So bleeding this month, bleeding next month. The period of time between that should be between 25 to 35 days. So some people are to every 25 days, some people are every 35 days. Now it could be off a day or two. So 25 to 26, so 25 to 27. Some people are 28 to 30. So every month, it might not come exactly on the same day, but it should be within a range that's pretty consistent for you. So you shouldn't go from a 25 days this period to 35 next period. Then that's abnormal. Your regular should be within a couple days of your usual. So if you're 28 days, you could be 28 to 30. If you're 25 days, you could be 25 to 27. You shouldn't be 25 to 35 or 35 to 41, then that becomes abnormal. So I always tell people, take note of the first day that you started bleeding this month. Take note of the first day that you started bleeding next month, and then count the days in between. As long as it's between 25 to 35 days and it's consistent for you every month, that's a normal period. And some people will say, oh, I get a period every month. My periods are normal. And then I start asking for specific dates. And then I'll count it. It's 41 days, it's 38 days. Then that's not a normal period. That's irregular. Because there's an actual process for how it comes. I don't know if you want me to do basic science here. But
with the daily motion of family people, they are very educated people. We are educated. DM fam, we are educated people here. Go ahead, give us a shot. We might just surprise you.
All right, perfect. So the first day of bleeding is day 1 of your cycle. You start making a mature egg. So in your ovary, there are lots of eggs. One of them gets mature per month. It starts maturing on the first day of bleeding, and it takes 2 weeks to mature. So that's why we usually feel ovulation 2 weeks after your period starts. Because now you fully matured an egg and you're about to release it. Releasing the egg is ovulation. And that's a 2-week process. When you release that egg, you're ovulating, you might feel a little bit of pain, bloating, fatigue. And some people might even have a little bit of spotting. They'll be like, oh, my period just came. Why am I spotting? Probably ovulation. And then it goes away. So what happens is if that egg is not fertilized, your body will dissolve that egg away. It will just disappear. And 2 weeks later, you fill up your uterus with all this blood from the ovulation. The ovulation increases your estrogen. The estrogen will fill up the uterus with blood, anticipating that, oh, if this egg is fertilized, there'll be a baby. So the uterus is anticipating that there'll be a pregnancy and fills up with blood supply. But let's say that egg is not fertilized. 2 weeks later, you release that blood as your period. So that cycle is what has to be consistent every month for you to have a regular period. People that are not ovulating, then their periods are all over the place. 41 days, 36 days is because they are not ovulating. So if you're ovulating, then you should have your period around the same time every month. 28 to 30, 25 to 27, 30 to 32. It shouldn't be such a big difference. So consistency, for some people it might be 35 days, for some people it might be 25 days, but as long as it's consistent for you. I hope that made sense. It's a long explanation.
It makes a lot of sense. And there are three things I want us to kind of talk about here. We have two comments from the chats, and I want to say something here. So for somebody like me now, I'm looking to have a baby. And you are talking about the ovulation. When you say that on who, it's as if you are not joining your faith with mine. Yeah, it's like I'm sensing a little hesitation, as if you think my eggs are fried. So I'm looking to have a baby. So how do you say ovulation? I'm looking. So if I were looking to conceive, what time would you suggest that I should be wearing my negligee around? So you mentioned day one. Okay, it's like you too. You are not joining your faith with mine. Father, come and surprise these people. Come and surprise them. Even though I have sold my uterus to the Red Cross, there is nothing you cannot do. God. Okay, so just share. So if I were somebody that was looking to conceive, and I wanted to time the time of conception, what would you suggest? Go ahead.
Great question. And so that's a great segue into the ovulation piece. So I recommend that sexual activity should be between a few days before ovulation. So that's why I tell people to track their periods. I want to know the first day of bleeding. First day of bleeding tells me that 2 weeks later, you should release an egg from your ovary. First day of bleeding, you're going to start maturing a new egg in your ovary, and it takes 2 weeks for that egg to fully mature. And so if you know that your cycle is 25 days, what's half of 25? 11.5, I think, if I can do, or 12.5.
12.5, yes.
So yeah, so around day 12, day 11, day 13 is when you might ovulate. So you want to be sexually active between day 10, day 11, because sperm can last about 2 days in the vaginal canal. And so you want the sperm to be there before the egg is released. It takes about 36 hours. The egg might hang around for about 36 hours. But to be able for the sperm to catch the egg before the egg disappears away, you need it to be already present inside the body about a couple days before ovulation. And ovulation, like I said, you can feel bloating, pain, tiredness. It's very difficult to be sexually active during that time. So you don't necessarily want to be sexually active on the day you're ovulating. You want to be doing that a few days before, so that when you release that egg from your ovary, the sperm has a better chance of meeting the egg and fertilizing the egg. So if you're a 28-day person, day 13, day 14 is ovulation, you'll be sexually active day 11, day 12. And it doesn't have to be every day. Like I said, sperm can last 2 to 3 days inside the reproductive tract. So you don't have to be, people will ask me, oh, do we have to be sexually active every day? No, you don't have to. So just know how long your cycle is. Are you a 35-day cycle? Are you a 28-day cycle? So you know when your own 2 weeks will be. And that way you know a few days before then is when you are sexually active to optimize conception.
Thank you so much for that. And that was one of the things that Mommy was talking about. She said, I'm going to read that. It's important to make our girls keep monthly records starting and ending days. And I always recommend for my patients to track whether you're looking to conceive or not, track your periods. There are many apps that help you do that. One of the ones I really love is Flow, Flo. They are not paying me, but if they want to pay me, they can. I mean, it's really good. It also kind of helps you to, it not only does it follow your periods, it starts to, kind of sync with what you put in there to kind of estimate for you, tells you when your period is likely to come, when you're likely to ovulate and stuff like that. So that if you're looking to conceive, then, it might tell you, you say we should not do it every day. Why? Let us be doing it every day. Load it, load it. You say we shouldn't do it every day. That much of and be doing it every day. Oh. I would think you would tell her to load it 2 days before, load it 1 day before, load it, be loading it, loading, oh, no chance of escape. I'm kidding. So thank you so much for that. I agree with that. They said this doctor is so brilliant. Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE she's so brilliant. Thanks for that detailed explanation. We are learning. DM fam, if you have joined us since I asked to share this post and you have not shared this post, please share this post. Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE she is not only a brilliant medical doctor, she's an entrepreneur and a fellow little sister at that, the CEO, CFO of Dardar Medical Group, and she is here sharing her knowledge with us, her testimony. She's located in the south suburbs in Homewood, Illinois, and she is wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today. We are thoroughly enjoying you. I wanted to, and I think that I'm gonna go to this chat. Hi Tito. Tony says, please talk about having your period twice a month, and maybe in saying that I want us to talk about when it's normal to have it twice a month, maybe first and the 29th, which is normal, or maybe when it's also abnormal to have it twice a month. Go ahead.
So usually a period twice a month is abnormal in general. Especially if it's like a week after or 2 weeks after. So when I was talking about ovulation and I said during the day you ovulate, you release an egg from your ovary, that is actually a process where it's like a balloon is bursting. So the egg is inside this pocket. The pocket is a pocket of fluid-filled pocket, and then it releases the egg and it's a rupture. So that's what causes pain, and sometimes that can cause a little bit of bleeding. So a little spotting in the middle of your period, think back, was my period 2 weeks ago? If it is, then you're just ovulating. And so ovulation bleeding is not as concerning, and it's usually just a spot here and there, not an actual flow. If you're having an actual flow and your period was just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, even 3 weeks ago, then that's abnormal, because then if you count from day one to day one of the bleeding of last month to day one of the bleeding of this month, and it's less than 25 days, it's abnormal. So if you count it and it's 25 days or 28 days or 26 days, okay, you're having your normal period. If it's 18, 19, 21, that's abnormal. So counting, knowing exactly the last day of the period, the last time you had a period, the first day, and counting it to when this period began is what will tell us if you're having 2 periods a month or if it's just your regular flow. As long as it's more than 25, we're okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So if you understand that, Tony, does that clarify for you? So, for example, some of my patients will come and they will say, oh, I had 2 periods in the month, but their first period started on the 1st of April, and then they got another one on the 29th of April. So, and I'm like, what? That's your period. That's normal. 28 days to koja, and your cycle is 28 days. 1 plus 28 is equals to 29. It's okay. No, but usually, or they would come, somebody would come and say, I usually get my period like the 1st of the month, but this time my period happened on the last of the month. And I said, well, Yeah, your period comes on the 1st of the month, but 28 days later is now the 29th of April. It's not, it's okay. It's okay. It's a simple mathematics. It's very easy. Get a period. So just get a period tracker. It's on your phone. It just takes away all the calculation. Well, there are some people who want to be engaging in things, and they say, these people of God, Pastor, good evening, ma. I think I was misbehaving. She said, "It's the woman of God." I'm so sorry. I don't even know what you caught me saying, but it wasn't me. It's this doctor that is causing the problem. Hi, Pastor. How are you? You are welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Some people, they say that, so for the people, sorry, let me remove this thing, please. For the people who don't want to conceive, which time is the safe time that we can engage? Which is the time? Which is this is actually a question for the men, for our men, because people are always lying. For our men, please help me call all the husbands. Let all the husbands join now, because people are always weaponizing this thing. If they say, before they say something, they will say they are not safe. They are not safe. They are not safe. People, Christian women lying all around. Let's stop and pray for people. Father, please, every woman of God that has ever lied about this thing, every woman of God that is putting barbed wire on their bed, every woman of God, please just forgive them for tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so, but really, for people, some people have used various contraceptives, and for some people, they have side effects, and they don't want to use it anymore, and so they're trying to use the rhythm method. So I think that's what this question is. So for those people who are not using anything, when is it safe, in quotes, to be sexually active?
So as long as your periods are regular. So people who are irregular, they don't follow this process of 2 weeks later ovulation. So as long as your periods are regular, you are every 28-day woman or every 32-day woman, you can track, okay, I'm going to ovulate on this day. And you don't want to be sexually active about 36 hours, 48 hours around ovulation. Because you could be every 28 days, but then not ovulate on day 14. You could ovulate on day 12. And so you could get pregnant on day 12. So the safest time I would say is a week after your period, because it takes 2 weeks for you to fully mature an egg. A week after your period. So your period, let's say, lasts 7 days. The week after, you're free. The next week, you're not, because you're ovulating. And then the week after ovulation, you're free. And then the next week, you're having your period. So it's a week before ovulation and a week after ovulation. So it's really important to know how many days your cycles are, so that you can know, okay, next week I'm ovulating, I'm safe to have sex this week. Or after I'm done with ovulation this week, I'm okay next week, and my period should come the week after. But people whose periods are not regular, we can't predict when they will release an egg, and so they can get pregnant anytime.
Oh, thank you so much.
2 weeks a month, not 1 week, 2 weeks a month.
So there, look at this lady. My dear, go and buy cellophane bag, my dear. I mean, please don't suffer the man of God. Cellophane. He says the back pain and stress. My dear girl, please buy Panadol, everybody. Don't offend God, okay, say only once a month. They say 2 weeks. Calculate. All right. Question from one of my young ladies. Hello, my darling Nimsicle. Hi, Nimi. Nimi says, what do you do if your period was regular to start with and then it becomes irregular?
So that depends on your age. When people are first starting out, when young girls are first starting out, menarche, it's not that ovulation process I was describing. That's the mature process. So if you're around 12, 13 and you're just starting, it's going to be all over the place. And some girls might have it every month, and then it becomes all over the place. So the first 2 years, when you first start your period, we don't count it as anything abnormal for your period to just go for months and not come, or come twice a month or anything. We just kind of help you navigate that time. Is it too heavy? Then we try to help you with some ibuprofen. Is it too painful? So depends on your age. If you're then, 40s, and then it was regular when you were 20s, 30s, and now you're in your 40s and it's irregular, maybe you're transitioning into menopause. So that question is a bit broad, depends on the age. Now, let's say you're still young, you're still in your 20s, you're mature, you're in your 30s, and you used to do your normal ovulation process and suddenly becomes irregular. A few things could be happening. It could be a thyroid problem. A lot of people don't even think about the thyroid gland. It's right down here. Let me see if I can show you. Right down here in our throat. So if your thyroid is acting up, periods can become irregular. Weight gain, it's actually very, very common. A lot of people gain a lot of weight after pregnancy, gain a lot of weight after getting married or being under a lot of stress, and their periods become irregular. And I'll tell you why weight gain causes irregular periods. Remember at the beginning, I said our cholesterol is converted to estrogen in our bodies. And that's why girls go through puberty a little earlier in the United States than in Nigeria or African countries. So if we have excess cholesterol in our bodies, you're going to have excess estrogen. And that excess estrogen is going to make your ovaries think, oh, we don't have to ovulate and release estrogen. We have enough estrogen. So it acts as an inadvertent birth control on your ovaries. But it's not the right kind of birth control. Because it can cause bleeding that will now last for weeks, that will make you anemic and things like that. So gain can make your periods irregular. Thyroid issues can make your periods irregular. There's this thing that I've actually been diagnosing almost like 20% of my patient population with now, elevated prolactin. Prolactin is a hormone that your brain releases when you're breastfeeding. And so suddenly periods will come this month and then they don't come next month. And so I check thyroid, I check if they've gained weight, and then I check her prolactin, and then it's slightly elevated. And so we start investigating why is the prolactin elevated. And so it's a little tiny micro tumor in the brain. So when I say tumor in the brain, people freak out and things like that. But it's not the type of aggressive brain tumor that people worry about. It's just in an overgrowth of a tumor inside the brain that's making prolactin. So it's making more prolactin and making the body think you're breastfeeding. And then it's suppressing the ovaries at that time. So if you're a normal, healthy woman who was ovulating normally and you're not going through menopause, you're not a teenager going through menarche, there are blood tests we'll have to do to figure out why your periods became irregular. So, and if everything comes back normal, most of the time it's weight gain.
Thank you so much for that. Since our young girl that asked the question is a young girl, sometimes for young girls, when you start your period, you would have one period and then the next month it doesn't come back. And it would wait maybe 2, 3, 4 months, and then you would have another period, and then you would continue to have it on a monthly basis. And for some young girls, it just starts monthly right away, and you have another period monthly. So that is then not an irregular period. Sometimes that is normal for young girls. All right.
Oh, let me tell you a funny story.
Oh, please tell us.
When I first started my period, I was 14, like I said. And then I had it regularly for a couple months, and then it didn't come for 6 months. And so I had an aunt that was living with us then, and for some reason I used to fall asleep in school. And then she now started scaring me that you are pregnant. That's me. You're pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
You're tired all the time. I used to be really scared. I'm like, I know I'm not doing anything. Something is happening.
But still, you will still be. If you were.
So it's very common, yes.
If you were anything like PI's dad and everybody else's dad, PI said, nobody spoke to me, and my dad had told me that when your period comes, anytime a man touches you, even by mistake, you will get pregnant. Period. So wrong. Imagine my fear whenever a male teacher touched me by mistake. And that happened to a lot of girls. Yes. I remember my sister, who used to have a lot of, like, all the students in her class used to play together at break time. And when she got her period, the guys were like, "Won't you come out and play?" She said, No. I'm not going to come out and play. They went out, came back, said, "Won't you come out?" I said, No. That's how somebody came to come and pull her. That, let's go and play. She said, my life is over. They have touched me. They have touched me. These people have destroyed my life. Thank you
Oh,
so
that's
much.
hilarious.
Thank you for
Yes.
sharing. And I don't know why they just traumatize us like that. But thank
I
you.
know. Yeah,
This
and it
is
can take 2 years, 2 years where it's all over the place. After 3 years, then we expect your body to have matured by then and to become that ovulatory process every month.
Thank you so much. All right, I want us to talk about these quick topics. They're like quick topics because their answers are, I think, hopefully straightforward. The first thing is, some people take this, some of our patients take this a little bit too far. They usually say in quotes that the vagina is a self-cleansing apparatus. Some people take that too far. A little too far. But there's always been this controversy about whether we're supposed to douche or not douche, to clean the vagina or not to cleanse the vagina. Tell us simple and straightforward, how are we supposed to cleanse our greatest organ that God created? Go ahead.
The answer is no douching. No douching whatsoever. So the vaginal environment is a mix of bacteria. There's good bacteria, there's bad bacteria. There's yeast even inside the vaginal area. It's called a microflora. So just a mixture of bacteria. And what we want is for them to be balanced. We want the good bacteria to be more than the bad bacteria. When people use antibiotics, it kills off all bacteria. So that's why a lot of people get yeast infections after they take antibiotics for maybe a strep throat or a sinus infection, because it doesn't discriminate good or bad bacteria, it just kills off all bacteria. Douching does the same thing, it cleans out your good bacteria. So it's an opportunity for the bad bacteria to grow. So we recommend no douching. Don't use anything inside the vaginal environment, because what your body is trying to do is populate your good bacteria so that it can keep the bad bacteria under control. Now, there are times some people after their period can get, the bad bacteria sees an opportunity and overgrows. So a lot of people struggle with recurrent infections after intercourse, after their period. It also depends on if they use tampons for their periods as well. So anything that disrupts the vaginal environment, sexual activity, period, tampons, anything at all that shakes it up is going to affect your pH balance. So the goal is always going to be trying to maintain your pH balance. So probiotics, if there is an infection, treating that infection right away. For some people that I find that, is after every period, after every sexual encounter that they have infections or they have pH imbalance, I do tell them to start using boric acid. So a few of my young patients, I'll tell them after intercourse, wash with water, put a boric acid tablet in. That way you're not calling me every week to be giving you antibiotics for vaginal discharge and discomfort. But if it's just once in a while, it's not as concerning. And we just look for the inciting factor. Oh, did you use antibiotics recently? Or were you recently sexually active? Did you use a new soap? Are you using anything scented? Are you using a strong detergent to wash your underwear? Are you wearing a panty liner that's scented? Anything that can affect the vaginal environment can shake up that pH balance. So as much as possible, you want to populate your good bacteria. Things that kill it off are the douching, the antibiotics, the scented products, all these steaming that people are doing. People are working too hard. It doesn't need much.
And the steaming, I think people are also trying to use it, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So hang on, no?
Yeah.
People are also trying to use the steaming to get the tightness
Get
back.
the tightening.
Because
Yeah.
things are happening, oh doctor, things are happening. You will help us. God will help you to help us. Things are happening. Water have passed under the bridge, so some things they're out of place. But God will help us. But thank you so much for that. We're gonna stay right there because I want us to talk about vaginal discharge. Is all discharge bad? We're always worried about, it seems like the average girl is worried about discharge. You mentioned boric acid. Is boric acid over the counter? Is it a prescription? Do we get that at the store? Is there a certain type? Where can we get that?
Yeah, boric acid is over the counter. Actually, there's no prescription available for it. It's a capsule, it's a suppository, so it goes inside the vagina whole as a tablet, and it dissolves over a period of time. Um, it is it's one dose, 600 milligrams. So there are no different doses. It's just one standard dose. There are some brands that will mix it with things, boric acid and azo or something like that. I again, people are doing too much. Just the standard boric acid, 600 milligrams. Walmart, Walgreens, health food store, Amazon, anywhere is fine as long as it's just pure boric acid. Um, there are those rare patients who will have burning with boric acid. So if there's a strong reaction to it, then obviously that's not the right step for that person to take. Or it might be an actual real sexually transmitted infection that is not going to be cleared by boric acid. So um,
That's where I'm going, ma. That's where I'm going, ma. Yes, ma. And let me ask you this, ma. So, and the reason I'm asking you that is because sometimes our patients will, just say, I was having this discharge and I just bought, this over the counter. Do you encourage people to just self-diagnose and treat, or do you want a call first to see if what we're experiencing before we go buy something? Can you talk about that?
that's a great question. So it depends on if it's a familiar situation. There are people who recognize it right away, where there's a fishy odor, there is slight itching, or it's thick and white and it's itching. So those two, the fishy odor, slight itching, is the bacterial infection for pH imbalance. The thick white discharge with the itching is a yeast infection. So, waiting to get through to your doctor might be a little bit difficult. So you can go over the counter, get Vagisil, or you can use boric acid to treat the bacterial vaginosis. So if after the Vagisil your symptoms are not improving, or if after the boric acid your symptoms are not improving, then yes, you should get that checked out. But if it's a type of situation you've never experienced before, it's green discharge, it's yellow, it's the smell is not fishy, it's something else, then yes, we should get that evaluated. But if it's familiar, if it's something you've seen before, you've been tested for before, you recognize that it's bacterial, you do the boric acid, it gets better, you're fine. If it doesn't get better though, then it might be something else. And everybody should have discharge. That's normal because it's an organ. It's functioning. There's lubrication. There's fluid. So it's okay as long as it's not a lot. If it's not soaking your underwear and making you feel wet and uncomfortable, it's not making you self-conscious like somebody can smell something. It doesn't smell fishy. Then if it's small, it's dried, it's not copious, it's not a lot, then that's normal discharge. But if it's an offensive smell, if it's making you self-conscious, if it's a lot of discharge that's soaking through your underwear, then that's abnormal discharge.
And thank you so much for clarifying that. So what I was the initial question before I blanch with my silliness was that I think a lot of women are always very concerned about, because you can't tell somebody, please let me smell yours so that I can so that I can see if I'm normal. But I think every girl is like self-conscious because you don't know, since you don't know what somebody else is smell like, you can't say whether your own is normal. So every patient that is like, is this normal? Like, is this what everybody gets, or is it just me? And it's like for everybody it's different. What's normal for you it's different from what's normal for another person. And I think that's what the average woman in this Women's History Month, this is the gift we want to give everybody, is for you to please help us and address how can we go about knowing what's normal for us. And is what's normal for me, what's normal for Shadia, or what's normal for Jeanette? Please help us with that. Go ahead.
So, like I said, every woman will have discharge. Discharge that is not a lot. This is normal. Discharge that it does not have an offensive odor. The fishy odor is very, very common. An ammonia smell. smelling almost like metal is not normal. An odor that somebody standing beside you can smell, then that's abnormal. It should stay within your underwear. It should stay within your underwear, not even on your trousers or pants or something. So it shouldn't be something that's offensive. It shouldn't be something that somebody just standing next to you can perceive. It shouldn't be a lot, so it shouldn't be soaking through. Um, it's not going to smell like roses. I don't know where people get that from, where they try to use deodorants and things like that. Those things actually throw off your pH balance and can cause more issues. Um, so it would have a smell, but it should not be an offensive smell. I hope that helps, because it's hard to quantify exactly what it smells like. But as long as it's not fishy, it's not offensive, the person standing next to you is not like, it doesn't, you know how period, if you haven't changed your pad when you're on your period, there's an odor, then that's abnormal. Because let's say you're not on your period and you have that smell, then that's an abnormal smell. So as long as it's not any of those things, we can consider it a normal vaginal discharge, a normal vaginal smell.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Daily Motion family, we're talking with Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE of Dardor Medical Group. She is located at 19150 Kedzie Avenue in Homewood. And she is taking new patients. And you can reach her on all of her social media pages. She is at dardormedical.com, Dardor Gynecology on YouTube, Dardor Medical Group on Instagram and Facebook. Whether you reach her at Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE or on Facebook, Dardor Gynecology. And we are accepting referrals, good insurance in the name of Jesus. Please share this page, word of mouth referral. She's an absolutely brilliant physician, and I am just honored. I'm honored to know her and to be able to share today with her and share her knowledge with the Daily Motion family. We will talk about, and I think another thing is just to know what's normal for you, because that's kind of like with vaginal discharges. As you go about life, you will know what's normal for you. So when there is a change from what's normal for you, then you should seek help. The fishy odor, doctor, share be a jatutu na beja didn't you keep saying fishy odor? I don't know. God will forgive me. It's like a fried fish or like any kind of fish. Okay, I'm just saying. The fishy odor is also accentuated by, if you're sexually active, you would notice it more after intercourse, because there is something that is in sperm that activates that odor a little bit more when you're sexually active. So it'll be stronger. So that's another thing that you can use to help yourself, help your life. All right, we're gonna answer this question by Dr. Sinchi in a little bit, but I want to make sure that we are on the right path. Please ask questions. We'll be out of here shortly, but we won't get out of here without talking about very, very important things. Let's talk briefly about something that I think is very important, and I think it'll be a quick answer. If people are sexually active and they are having pain, how can we go about making this less of an issue? Because on Daily Motion, we're very, very interested in our relationships thriving, and we don't want the women to be running. So if this is an issue, how can we get help? If we call it dyspareunia, how can we get help? Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, that's a great question. So dyspareunia, or painful intercourse, can be caused by a variety of things. So the first thing is for us to do sort of collect information. When does it happen? Some people are sexually active when they're ovulating. Remember I said when you ovulate, you're releasing, it's like a balloon bursting. You're releasing an egg. So there's a lot of, there can be blood in the pelvis. When you release that egg, there can be a little bit of bleeding from the ovary that lands down in the abdomen. That irritates the lower abdomen. And imagine someone being sexually active when that is happening. That can cause a lot of pain. So first thing that I'm asking is it about 2 weeks after your period you notice this? Does it happen every time you're sexually active, whether you just finished your period or not? Are there issues? Is it with insertion or with deep penetration? There was a patient of mine that had a cyst on her cervix. So the cervix is the bottom part of the uterus that's way inside the vagina. And so hers was with deep penetration. And when we removed the cyst from the cervix, she was fine. So getting good information about when it happens, how it happens. Also, it could be from, people have children and then they have vaginal tears and then they do a repair and maybe the repair is a little tight or the repair is a little tense and then sex becomes uncomfortable for them after that. So it's the question is what is causing the painful intercourse? Do they have a cyst on their ovary that every time they have intercourse, that cyst is moving their ovary back and forth? That can cause a lot of pain for women. Or is it vaginal dryness? They're not able to lubricate as they used to. They're getting older, transitioning into menopause, and are finding it harder to lubricate. Or is it that there's not enough foreplay? I had a patient of mine, older in her 60s. She still has her desire, but it's like her husband has erectile dysfunction. So once he has to go, she has to be ready to go. But she's not always ready to go at that time. She needs a little bit of help to go. And so if they engage at that time, she's dry. But if they don't engage at that time, he has lost the erection. So it was very frustrating for them. And so the question is, what is causing the dryness? I mean, what is causing the pain? When is the pain happening? And then that would inform us about what we can address to make it better. So if it's a cyst on the ovary, we just focus on trying to resolve that cyst. If it's a cyst on the cervix, we remove the cyst. If it's because of repair after vaginal delivery or something like that, we help them with estrogen and we help them with pelvic floor therapy to release those muscles, release those tight muscles so that they can get back to enjoying intercourse. When some women are breastfeeding, remember I talked about a hormone called prolactin. Prolactin is what brings in breast milk, but it suppresses your ovaries. If it suppresses your ovaries, it's suppressing your estrogen. The vagina needs estrogen. So if there's loss of estrogen, you could have dryness during breastfeeding, which can make it painful to have sex. So for those women, we say use lubrication. For women in menopause, we tell them use lubricants. If lubricants are not helping, use estrogen. If they can't use estrogen, I've started using this laser therapy for women. Is that, I don't know if you can see behind me there, that CO2 laser.
Hold on, no, let's see it. We can see it. We can see it.
Yeah, CO2 laser right there. I don't know if I can do my head properly.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see it.
Yeah. So that laser, no hormones, no incision, is just we put the probe inside the vaginal canal. I press the button, it releases laser energy. The brain thinks there's a urgency in the vagina and goes there, tries to repair what the laser has done. The laser is causing like microscopic injuries, and the body is reacting to an urgent situation inside the vagina. Sends blood flow, sends antioxidants, antibodies, everything to try to fix it. And in that way, it strengthens the vaginal canal, brings in lubrication, increases the sensitivity of the vagina, so sexual experience is improved. A lot of the women I've treated with it, when I ask them, so what did you first notice? The first thing they notice is that the sexual experience is better because there's more sensitivity within the vagina, more lubrication. So for that, my patient who needs foreplay before she can lubricate, and then her husband only has a few minutes before he loses his erection, the laser will be a great option for her because then she can be ready when he's ready. So it depends on the cause of the pain. It depends. That will help us know what treatment to help with that. That was a long answer, though.
No. That's a very comprehensive answer, and thank you so much. And if I have not answered the question in the chat, it's not because I don't see it. I see it, and I'm trying to be a good producer here so that they can give me raise. You see, these people that are using me in this production company, they are just using me since all these days. No payment, no raise, nothing. So I'm just trying to prove myself. I see it, and I will get to it. I want to answer very quickly this question. My Joy Girl says, so just simple soap and water to wash the vagina is okay. Is that correct, doctor?
So I want to clarify what's vagina and what's vulva. Vagina is inside, where your period is coming from, where babies come out from. Vulva is outside. I wonder if I can do a demonstration. Is that okay?
That's all right. Kò sí ní tá kì í gbé wá bí. This is Daily Motion. Ẹgbẹ́ wa ṣe ní
Okay.
bèbí. Any baby?
I was gonna sort of use my.
Oh, do it, do it. Àti gbé bèbí wá bí rí gbogbo nǹkan la máa ń gbé wá. I mean, sorry, we bring baby here. Mhm. Go ahead, man.
This is the outside, the vulva. Inside is the vaginal canal. So you want to wash the outside. You don't want to put anything inside the vagina to wash it. So simple soap and water, as much as possible, unscented, to wash the outside. But don't insert anything, inject anything, use a turkey baster thing to cleanse anything inside. We want to keep that area just a bacterial balance. But the outside is fine. Simple soap and water is fine.
Very good.
Even if it's body wash, as long as it doesn't have fragrance, you know.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be naughty. Please, children of God, because I'm only telling you this because you people follow God. When you go to do your pap smear, please don't now say that you quickly want to use the toilet and then you now use tissue paper to quickly clean it. And then half of the tissue paper is now stuck between all the leaves. We can still see it. But it's not that we are making fun or anything. We are just saying.
True.
If don't worry, we see this thing all the time. Anything you bring is okay. But when you are trying to like quickly clean it before you come, half of the tissue paper you have used to wipe it is now stuck there. It's always funny. So, but if you clean it, I remove the tissue paper. So then it is the vagina. Then you're saying it's self-cleansing. So let's not introduce things in there. I hope that clarifies the question. Do you take self-pay patients? Yes, money. We take it. I am the accountant. We take money. Please bring it. Yeah. All right. All right. We started talking about this. Miss Sinchi, I have all your questions and I'm going to address them. I have all your questions and I'm going to address them. Let's talk about this because you started talking about that. A lot of women who, do not feel comfortable with engaging in sexual activity or are not compliant at home. There's a lot of reasons for it, and we've talked about that before. We've had a sex therapist come here before and just addressing the various reasons why we don't have a healthy sex life, and we found out that a lot of us sometimes we just don't feel comfortable with what we think our vaginas feel like, especially after maybe trauma, after delivery. There's some vaginal wall laxity, and you started talking about laser treatment. So and both for traumas and just sometimes because it's just those children, they have passed through the place and the place does not feel the same again. So please, I want us to address it. What kind of treatments are available? And you started talking about it and we could see it, and I'm going to put you on the screen so that you can talk about it. When sex is not as enjoyable, please get the men in the room so that they can see that this is a very useful topic for them. And we want to also know, is it expensive? Because a lot of us, we have the problem and we're thinking if we come to you now, you will say we should bring 1,000. We have also had this program before. We brought Dr. Samir Chaktai was here to talk to us about laser treatment for, incontinence and also for vaginal wall laxity. And so please share a little bit about that. Dr. DUROWADE also does it. Please let us fix it so that we can fix everything there, so that we don't go and be meeting pastor for the matter that does not concern pastor. Please. All right, doctor, go ahead.
Yes. So there are different treatments for vaginal laxity. I'm sure everyone has heard of Kegel exercises. So the pelvic floor supports the vagina, the uterus, the bladder. And after childbearing, anything that stretches those muscles can make those muscles weak. So if we want to strengthen those muscles, we recommend Kegel exercises. So you are, you're tightening your pelvic muscles as much as you can throughout the day. So just like any muscle you want to tone or any muscle you want to build, you sort of do pelvic exercises. And so that will kind of build the muscle of the pelvic floor. The other treatment that we have for vaginal walls is called pelvic floor therapy. So there's a facility that you go to, and there are therapists there that help you to exercise your pelvic floor. They have internal exercises that they do. In some rare cases, they might do some electric shock thing to help. That's rare. I was talking to one of the therapists recently, and I was asking if they do like stimulation with electric shock, and they said that's rare because they tend to get a lot of results with just their regular internal therapy, telling you to squeeze against. They'll insert something in there, and they'll tell you to squeeze against it. So just to help you know the motions of the exercises, so you can do them at home and help to strengthen your pelvic floor. Now, the laser therapy is excellent because you don't have to remember to do anything. It basically does that work for you. Like I said, it causes microscopic injuries. The body will go there, bring collagen. Collagen helps to build strong tissue. Bring collagen there, bring blood flow there, bring a lot of stimulation there, so that you can get that support without having to do any of the work. Some of the downside of pelvic floor therapy is if you forget to do your exercises, or you get pregnant again and you re-injure those muscles, then the work it takes to build those muscles back might be harder to do, to get back to the level you were before you got pregnant. So that's one of the advantages of the laser therapy as well. So treatments for vaginal wall laxity, vaginal wall pain is Kegel exercises, pelvic floor therapy, vaginal estrogen, laser therapy. Now, laser therapy is not covered by insurance. It is on the higher end side price-wise. It is more pricey than the other treatments. Pelvic floor is usually covered by insurance. Estrogen is most likely covered by insurance. Lasers are not. They are in the thousands, but I just did an open house at my clinic, and we're doing some promotions. So those promotions are still going on, but the prices are not hundreds. They are in the thousands for the laser therapy.
And doctor, do you collect Sunday
Payment
there?
plan.
Do you collect payment
Yes.
plan? Okay.
Yes,
I
we
will.
do.
I will help you look for custom.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Ma.
All right. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about, while we're on that route, and we're going to talk about libido treatment. Libido meaning sexual drive, and wanting to be sexually active, the urge to be sexually active, and then we're going to talk about menopause a little bit. We've had a long and extensive conversation about menopause on this forum before. So if you missed out on that, you can scroll back on our page. It is a wonderful. It was quite a wonderful topic that we shared. Dr. Deborah Oludemi was here with us, and we shared about that. So we're just going to touch on it briefly, and then we're going to talk about hair loss and hair loss treatment. Very good. I'm coming for that one. I'm coming for that one. The other one, I don't have problem too much with it. But the hair loss one, are you open on Monday?
Yeah.
You don't open tomorrow.
We are.
You're open tomorrow. I'm coming tomorrow. I will not go to church. Anyway, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and then I want to Sunday. Yeah, you will go to church to go and sing. I will come on Monday. Let's talk about libido. A lot of us, for several reasons, as much as we want to strengthen our relationships and we want to be compliant, libido is low. What are the available options for low libido? What are the available treatments? Let's just hit the nail on the head. Bamu. Is there help? Because people come to us and say, we need help. We say, it's mind over matter. Just pray about it. You are the husband is the head of the wife. Just your body is not yours. That's what they tell us in church. So we need help, please. How can you help us? Go ahead and just tell us about that.
Yes. And in response, husband is the head of the wife. Yes, I had said no initially, but I was responding to the. But yeah, I wanted to be sure that. So the reason for low libido is because you're losing estrogen. You're losing your estrogen, or you're under a lot of stress. Now, imagine working a 9 to 5, coming home and having to take care of everything, or the kids, and And then at the end of an exhausting day, you have to muster up energy to become sexually active. And so, even if you are desiring to do, you might just be too exhausted to do it. And I think a lot of women will notice that they have more sexual desire about when you're ovulating, when your estrogen peaks. So around that time is when you're feeling more interested in sex, you're thinking more about it. For men, as we know, is all the time, but for women, it's more during that ovulation time when their estrogen level really peaks. So as women are entering menopause and that estrogen is not peaking anymore, their ovaries are shutting down. Those urges and desires are not as paramount again. They don't come, they're not forefront of the mind. And so yes, there is help. One of the things I do in my office is testosterone, and I have found a convenient way to do it so you don't have to take a pill every day. It's not, or put a cream on every day. Well, there was a lady I gave cream to, but she has to wait for it to dry before she can put her clothes on. So it was a little bit like becoming a little harder for her to be consistent with, because it will rub off on her clothes and things like that. So I started doing this thing called pellets. They bioidentical hormones, so they look like the hormones that our body would make, and we would inject it into the hip, into the fat of the hip. So we go directly to the fat cells where cholesterol is converted to estrogen, and we insert that testosterone pellet in there. And over 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, it slowly dissolves into your body. And this is not the doses that men take. For men, let's say their testosterone needs to be at 2,000. So a man will get like 9 pellets or something. But for women, they only need one pellet, maybe just 100 milligram pellets, when men are needing 2,000. And that's all a woman needs to get energy, motivation, her sex drive, her concentration. If you have hot flashes, it helps with hot flashes as well. So if somebody's not a good candidate for estrogen, let's say they have high blood pressure, they have gallbladder disease, they can safely get testosterone. Testosterone has been around for 40 years. A lot of women have been using it for specifically low libido. Some women, their only symptom of menopause is they lost their sex drive. They don't even have hot flashes, night sweats, any of those things. They just have no sex drive, and it's affecting their relationship. Testosterone is an excellent option for them. And the fact that they don't have to do it every day is another great incentive. There's some women that are only 2 injections a year because their own can last up to 6 months. So it's one of the things I enjoy doing it so much, because when I call my patients the next day and they start recounting how much better they feel, how much energized they feel, how their relationship has improved. It goes beyond just being a doctor. You're changing people's lives, you're changing people's relationships. So it's one of the treatments I really enjoy doing. So
Very
yes,
good.
there
I
are.
have a lot of people I want to report to you. I mean, sorry, refer to you, including myself. Oh, it's not only. You see, the report is what first came out. Please, everybody, report yourself to doctor, because. Uh-huh. Mayor, hi Mayor. How are you, Mayor? Mayor says drive, okay. Mayor doesn't know anything about that. She's a woman of God. And my joy girl was saying that in doctor's office you don't have to use dry towel, because she has wet wipes that she can
Yeah.
testify. What else did I miss? Let me ask this question real quick. Dr. Sinchi was asking, is there an age limit for laser treatment?
No, no age limits. Even for those young girls who keep having recurrent bacterial infections, I use laser treatments for them to help them restore their pH. So there are some women, they're like, boric acid doesn't work. I'm tired of getting antibiotics every time. This BV or recurrent pH imbalance keeps happening after my period or after sexual intercourse. Laser treatment just helps to help them get rebalanced. So there's no, I would say, girls who are not sexually active, teenagers and stuff, obviously not. But women who are older, sexually active in sexual relationships, yes, they can get it. There's no age limit. I do it for my 60-year-olds who are post menopause and everything is dry. they're the perfect candidates for that too.
For that. And I think you already answered this question by Dr. Femi. Is the laser treatment covered by insurance? Not really, but she said she's doing open house. She said we should come on Monday. Call off work. Oh, we are coming. Oh. We are coming. And then PI says, my voice is so deep. If I get to testosterone, testosterone, will it get deeper?
No, because we're not using male level doses. Like I said, the men are getting 2,000 milligrams of testosterone. Women are getting 100 milligrams.
Good. And okay, Bisala, I will book your appointment. Yes, but all the people that my boyfriends are reporting to me that they are not in compliance, I'm going to schedule you myself. And the question I had is, with testosterone, and we've used it as an off-label treatment. And in the news, we were talking earlier. Go ahead and talk to us. We mostly use it as an off-label use. Go ahead and share that with us.
Yes, off-label use because FDA has still not approved it yet. Insurances are still not covering it. There was a time I tried to get it covered by insurance, and they told me only estrogen is covered by insurance. But like I said, it's been around for 40 years. There's a lot of data, a lot of research that has been done on it. There have been no reported heart attack, stroke, breast cancer, hypertension, none of those things with testosterone. The testosterone is even converted to estrogen inside the body, but the level of estrogen is what you get in menopause. If I gave you direct estrogen, the level you would get in your body would be like pre-menopause levels. And those pre-menopause levels are the ones that can raise your blood pressure, increase risk of blood clotting and things like that. So that's why I prefer to use testosterone. There's not a lot of people who are not candidates for testosterone. Even if somebody has high blood pressure, they can still get testosterone because even if it's converted to estrogen, the levels are still low. They're the menopause range estrogen in the body. So less risks, less concern. A lot more people are good candidates for it. The doses we use are standard. They're not high doses. Most people tolerate it well and don't have side effects. I just make sure everyone has a good mammogram before I start, a normal mammogram before I start any hormone therapy at all. But now there's new data that's coming out that, they're going to start actually approving it to be an on-label use, no longer off-label. So that's still in the works. It's not fully yet FDA approved for that, but there's enough research, enough data out there to show that it works, it's beneficial, it's healthy, it's safe, that we expect it to be approved in the next few years.
Yes, we do. And people have been using it for such a long time. You can do it over your lunch break, and by the time you get home, oh, Jesus is Lord. Your husband will just be paying Dr. DUROWADE for no reason.
Amen.
For no reason, he will just be paying our account. Just be alert, bank alert. In Jesus' name. All right. Thank you so much. Again, we're talking with Dr. TAIWO DUROWADE of Dardo Medical Group, and she is located at 19150 Kedzie Avenue in Homewood, Illinois. And she is taking new patients. She has an excellent gynecological clinic over there, accepting new patients with state-of-the-art treatment for all manner of things that you wouldn't even believe. And we're going to talk about some of the things now. I want us to talk quickly. Like I said, we had a very nice conversation with Dr. Deborah here about menopausal symptoms, how a lot of women experience a lot of symptoms. Not every woman experiences everything. And we talked about some herbal remedies that don't always work, but works for some. We talked extensively about lifestyle changes and lifestyle modifications that go a long way. We talked about treatment for the mood disorders that are sometimes associated with menopause, and some of the things that we use as antidepressants that kind of help with occasionally help with the vasomotor symptoms that sometimes will come with menopause. We did not talk a lot about hormone replacement therapy. We just want to spend maybe 2-3 minutes in talking very briefly about hormone replacement. I want you to mention, one very quickly, people who should not think about hormone replacement to start with, and then just whatever you think you can share with us very briefly. And then after that, we'll talk about hair loss and hair loss treatment, and then we'll be out of here. Go ahead.
Awesome. I actually find that a large population of my patients are in menopause. And so I've spent a lot of time conversing with women who have gone through menopause. Now, hormone replacement therapy, I want to, kind of, if I can ease our minds about it. When they first started doing it, they were doing it to see, does it reduce the risk of heart attack, bone loss, and things like that. And they were using it in different ages of women. And so they had to hurriedly stop this research because they started seeing that people were getting heart attacks and strokes. But the people that were getting the heart attacks and strokes were women in their 60s and 70s who were getting estrogen and progesterone together. The women who were 40s, 50s, early 60s were fine. But because people were having really bad outcomes from it, they had to stop it. So that made a lot of people afraid of hormone replacement therapy. They think it causes cancer. They think it causes heart attacks and strokes and things like that. The risk of heart attack, stroke, or high blood pressure, any of that in women in their 40s, 50s is very, 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 very low. The absolute risk is very, very low. So women should feel a bit less anxious about thinking about hormone replacement therapy. Now, somebody who should not get hormone replacement therapy is somebody who has a history of breast cancer. So people who have family history of breast cancer, I would be okay giving them testosterone. I would be hesitant to give them estrogen. Because like I said, the testosterone, even when it's converted to estrogen, is menopause level estrogen, not premenopause level estrogen. Premenopause level estrogen makes us worried about blood clots, heart attack, and stroke. So, and again, in younger women, very low chances that it will actually happen. It's just we have to tell people the risk. So somebody with uncontrolled high blood pressure, there are people who are walking around with blood pressures of 160s, and I will be telling them, have you noticed anything? They'll be like, I noticed that I have a little headache. I noticed that I'm a little tired. I'm like, your blood pressure is ridiculous. It's elevated, 160s, 170s. Those are not good candidates for estrogen. If they are under control, so let's say they're high blood pressure, but they're taking their medications and their blood pressures are in normal ranges, yes, they can get hormone replacement therapy. People with gallbladder disease, because the medication is processed through our liver. And so if you have liver disease, if you have gallbladder disease, then we're worried that you're not going to process that estrogen well, and you might have blood clots that can be very dangerous and things like that. So uncontrolled high blood pressure, breast cancer history, family history of breast cancer, irregular mammogram, people who have irregular things on their mammograms. That's why before I start anybody on any hormone therapy, I make sure they get a mammogram that is normal. Who else is not a good candidate? So, but like I said, in most cases, a lot of women are good candidates for testosterone therapy, and testosterone therapy can fix all the symptoms of menopause, including depression and anxiety. Because most of the time, if it's a new symptom that is happening because of menopause, we can fix that by replacing the hormones. And we can replace the hormones by just replacing testosterone, because it gets converted into estrogen and it will fix a lot of those issues as well. So I advocate for hormone replacement therapy. There are women who will use over-the-counter stuff and it will work for them. That's great, but it's not going to work as effectively as replacing the hormones you've lost, because the reason for your symptoms is because you've lost hormones. Replacing those hormones is what's going to help you feel like yourself again. So how can we safely do that? How can we safely give you those hormones so that you can feel like yourself again and reduce your risk of side effects? And that's why I would advocate more for testosterone for older women, estrogen for younger women.
Thank you so much. Thank you. DM fam will be out of here shortly. But a lot of the women in my life don't have hair. This is the issue that supposedly caused a man of great caliber to go and slap another man on the Oscar stage. We don't know the validity of that statement. Yes. But whether it is true or not, doctor, we are suffering. A lot of us. Anyway, we want to talk about hair loss and hair loss treatment. And a lot of women, when they go to, especially primary care physicians, after we check their thyroid, we just do like this. Well, go and buy wig. Me too, I'm wearing one. But there are some treatment options for hair loss, and if you can share that with us, more reasons for you to visit Dardor Medical Group at one. Where's your address again? Please use your mouth to say it.
19150 Kenzie, Homewood, Illinois.
Homewood, Illinois. Please visit Dr. Durowade because she does hair loss treatments. Please share with us what are our options when it comes to hair loss. Go ahead.
Yes. Hair loss can also be a menopause symptom. Hair starts getting thin, or after postpartum, people are losing a lot of their hair after they lose all that estrogen after they have childbearing. And like you said, it's very frustrating for doctors. There are not a lot of options. If the blood tests are normal, we just say, well, manage your stress. Stress can make you lose hair, or, change your diet or things like that. So the options that are out there are the topical products, like all the Rogaine and all these natural products that people are using. But the life cycle of the hair is like 6 months. So before people start seeing results from all these topical things, it takes a long time. So there's this new machine that I got in my office. It's called TED, Trans-Epidermal Delivery. I wonder if I can even show you.
Please take us on a tour. Go ahead.
If I can I do a reverse screen here? Let me see. Okay. I can show it to you. It's hard to see. TED, Trans-Epidermal Delivery, and these are some of the results that people have experienced. I started doing this treatment actually for a few of my patients. This guy here is you can see the one on the left there. So basically, what we're doing is we're using an ultrasound wave to deliver the hair product into the hair follicles. Instead of just using our hands to rub in the hair, there's a tool that we rub on the hair that opens up your pores and allows the hair treatment to get down into the roots of the hair. So it won't take 6 months for you to see results. It will take maybe 1 month or 3 months for you to see results, and the hair will grow back. Mostly as long as it's not, because of psoriasis or plaques that are on the hair. If there's an actual medical condition on the scalp that's causing hair loss, then obviously this treatment will not work. But if it's due to stress, if it's due to menopause, if it's due to postpartum, this machine can work great for it. As usual, nothing that is for cosmetic is covered by insurance. But like I said, we're offering promotions and we do payment plans in the office. But the reason I got these treatments were for the same reason you said, Dr. Yemi, is that I just found that I don't have options for people. After I check their hormones, I just say, hey, I'm sorry, manage your stress, let's treat your menopause. There was a patient of mine, I was giving estrogen, and she was taking this minoxidil topical treatment, and it was working great. Estrogen and minoxidil together, she was getting her hair back. But then her mammogram started looking funny. So I took her off the estrogen. And then she kept on using the minoxidil. And then she found out that she was losing all that hair again. So her was due to menopause, and giving her the estrogen helped to build back the hair. But when we had to take her off the estrogen, I had no other recourse for her. And so somebody like that, this TED machine will be a great option for her. And all we're doing is just allowing that hair serum to get to the hair follicle faster. We're not doing anything new with any of the hair products. So, and one of the ingredients in these hair products is that it anchors the hair down. So it doesn't allow you to, pull it off again. Although we tell people, don't go and braid your hair after we do it, because you put tension on the new growth. You protect your hair. If you're wearing a wig, protect the front of the hair so that when we do your edges, you don't lose the new growth that you're getting. So not much is needed in terms of maintenance. It's just allow the hair to be and allow the medicine to work. So that's the option I have now for women who are losing their hair.
Thank you so much. We are going to round up with a few questions that I had left off, so that, and I think there's one from Dr. Sinchi. It was about contraception. She said, "How do you correct?" Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, you have given. In fact, we should. Do you have any school loans?
Oh yes.
Please, Daily Motion family, what do you say we pay off the school loan? Because all the knowledge that she have given us, hey, let us stop and pray. All of Dr. Durowade's school loans, in the name of Jesus, because she came here today, they will be paid off in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus, they will be paid off.
Amen. I receive it.
Thank you so much that you have shared so much with us tonight. Dr. Sinchi says, how do you correct irregular menses, especially when weight loss is difficult? Do you put them on birth control for a while, or when they do not want to get on birth control?
Great question. So it depends on the cause of the irregularity. Is it thyroid? Then we fix their thyroid issue. If it is weight, then we really, really help them with weight loss. I do always recommend contraceptives for regulating periods. And there's so many different kinds. So it's not that if one doesn't work, then that person can't take birth control. There's the patch, there's the ring. The patch is every week, the ring is every month, the pill is every day. So it depends on which one can you be most responsible with. Which one can you tolerate well? And there are different doses of each of them. So it doesn't have to be that if they're on the pill and they don't do well with the pill, then they have to switch to the patch. There are different doses of the pill and the patch. So I'm an advocate for birth control because I think it can help you regulate your periods while you're trying to lose weight. Now, there's a risk of weight gain with birth control, but only with certain types of birth control. So like the injection, the depot shot, I don't give those at all, actually. When people come to me and tell me they want the depot shot, I'm like, are you sure? The risk of weight gain is pretty high. But if people really want it, then I give it to them because that one's every 3 months. But I usually try to stick to the pill, the patch, the ring, or the IUD. The IUD will not regulate periods because it's only within the uterus. The ones that regulate your periods are the ones that regulate your ovaries. Remember, the ovaries are ovulating. If the egg doesn't get fertilized, you have a period. So the ones in control of your period are your ovaries. So the pill, the patch, the ring are those ones that will control the ovaries. So I think birth control is a good option as long as you choose the one someone can tolerate that doesn't cause them more weight gain. But if they don't want to use birth control, then we really have to work hard on weight loss. And you know, a lot of it is willpower, and a lot of it is discipline. I always have, especially for my Nigerian parents, I have a list of, you know, substitutes that they can use for their foods. You know, instead of pounded yam, you can use there's this potato flour or something like that. Lesser calories, basically. So weight loss is a big thing, but birth control is absolutely safe as long as you choose the right one for that particular person.
And in fact, I think I'm going to go into market. I do need a marketing person. Yeah.
Yes, my dear.
Please, I think I'll come and interview. I think you also do weight loss management. Am I correct?
I do.
All right, please. Daily Motion family, Dr. Durowade also practices. In her practice, she does weight loss management. So if you are interested, she's still at the same location that I've been announcing all day. So please look into that. While we're on birth control, we're talking about birth control. One place where we always get very confused about birth control is there is a 50-something-year-old menopausal woman or perimenopausal woman who is still getting periods because she's menopausal. She's 49. Let's say she's 49, almost 50. She's having periods because she's on birth control. She thinks she's in menopause. She's not sure. And she wants to get off her period. I mean, she wants to get off the pills, but she's not sure whether she's menopausal. And she does not want to have a magic baby, because our last kid just left for college, And, she doesn't really want to use condoms for protection. What do you usually advise people do when they get to this stage in life? When do you tell them to stop getting an IUD or stop wearing stop wearing condoms or get off the pill? How do you handle this?
That's a great question. So the age of menopause, average age is 45 to 55. So if they're around that 49, she thinks she's in menopause, but she doesn't know because she's on pills, I leave them. Continue taking your birth control pills. If they are working great for you, you're having your period every month. And those birth control pills are what's probably preventing her from having menopause symptoms. The hot flashes, the night sweats, the sleep disturbance and everything, because she's getting a regular dose of estrogen. So her body thinks that everything is still fine. When they start getting to 55, 56, it's time to start taking them off those birth control, because the doses of estrogen and progesterone in birth control is 10 times higher than what we would give someone for hormone replacement therapy. So if hormone replacement therapy has 0.5 of estrogen, birth control has 35. And so when they're getting, remember I said that a hormone replacement study they were using it for women in their 60s and 70s, and they started seeing more risks. So we are trying to get people of high doses of hormones as they're getting closer to 60. So when they start getting to 55, then I would start, okay, let's find something else. By 55, you really should not be ovulating, And so I always encourage people, it's okay, come off the birth control, let's see how you're doing. If you're doing fine and you don't need anything, great. If you are miserable because now you don't have any estrogen, then there are lower doses of hormone replacement that are safer that we can give to you. So if she's 49, doesn't have no issues, but just wondering, because even if I do blood work, the blood work will show me that estrogen level is normal. So the blood work would not show me that she's in menopause because she's artificially getting estrogen. So I just leave them until they start getting to that 55. Then let's wean off and see if you need anything in addition.
So do you tell them to start using cellophane at that time?
At that time, I tell them to feel free. Feel free.
Just do it. Let's see what happens.
Don't need anything.
All right, you have been phenomenal tonight. Thank you so much. Hey, doctor, do you know anything called O-shot? Somebody offered me O-shot. They say if I take O-shot, that my husband, I won't let him rest. Is that a medical? Is that a medical medication, or is it just something they are selling on the streets?
I think it's something they are selling on the streets.
Don't use O-shot, people. Don't go and use O-shot. If you use O-shot, don't use O-shot, Daily Motion family.
I forgot to mention about the weight loss. So the weight loss I'm offering involves a medication, but also nutritional counseling. Like I said, I have a list of foods that I have people alternate with. But the medication is called Ozempic. I'm sure we've seen commercials about it.
Ozempic.
Yes, exactly. And it's once a week injection. This one can be covered by insurance. So some insurances are very good. They'll cover it even if you don't have diabetes, because it was a diabetes medication, but now it's FDA approved just for weight loss. So even if people don't have diabetes or anything, it can still be covered by insurance. Once a week injection works on your brain, so cravings, and works on your digestion, slows down your digestion. So you get full quicker, you stay full longer. And if you then switch up your diet with the things we recommend, then you can see the weight loss you want. And then when you come off the medication, as long as you stick to the diet and you stick to your exercise, you should be able to keep the weight off. The risk is when you don't change what you're eating, you don't increase your activity. When you come off the medicine, you're going to gain all the way back. So I usually start it on people who are already doing something. What are you doing right now for your diet? They tell me they're meal prepping. They tell me they're exercising twice a week. We look at what they're eating and make sure that it's actually reasonable. Then I'd be like, okay, you can get results from this Ozempic. But if they haven't changed anything, then I tell them go and start first before we start the medication.
Dr. T, you have been great. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time tonight. Daily Motion family, you have been, as usual. You're a Daily Motion family. What else can I say? Thank you so much for your time tonight, for hanging out with
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you for all the referrals you're going to send us.
Yes,
Thank you
please.
for helping me get to this marketing job. I'm so grateful. I will continue to serve you as long as you give me these job opportunities. You've been wonderful. We have
Thank
so much
you.
love and so much respect for you. And we pray over this ministry of
Amen.
love that you are giving to women. We have been so underserved, and when we see people who are serving women, it is such a life-giving ministry
Thank
that
you.
you are in, and we continue to pray God's blessings over
Amen.
your
Amen.
services, over your clinic, over the works of your hands. We pray that God will
Jesus'
take you
name.
to the greatest heights that you possibly can attain, that He will open new doors of favor
Amen.
unto you, even where you are not seeking for help, that He will position help ahead of your needs,
Amen.
that He will provide resources, that He will give you everything that is necessary for you to do all that He wills for you to do in your community, and changing lives one patient at a time.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
In
DM
Jesus'
fam,
name, amen.
we are out.
Thank you.
God bless you for tonight. Go to church tomorrow, please. Go to church. Go and praise and worship your God. Have a good night. We'll be back in 2 weeks.